Heading to Las Vegas to catch the action at Allegiant Stadium? Skip the traffic and the sky-high room rates of the Strip. Book your stay at the South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa. The South Point is located just 7 miles away from the stadium, and it's a quick trip up the freeway, making it an affordable rideshare or taxi ride. And don't worry about getting here. When you land in Vegas, we offer a convenient airport shuttle to get your getaway off to a stress-free start. Shuttles are also available on Raider game days for a small fee.
For the chat.
So whether you're rooting for your team or seeing your favorite band in concert at Allegiant Stadium, South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa is your ticket to all the excitement.
Awesome. I'll mention that right away.
Looking to bet smarter? Get sports betting insight and winning picks straight from the South Point Hotel and Casino.
I think we're going to get goals from both sides here. Give me over 5.5.
That is also one of my favorite plays of the weekend is the Colts -3 on the road.
So you're getting plus 130 here.
I mean, how can you go against Tusky?
Exactly.
Join Sports by the Book Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific and bet your winning edge.
South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
Are you ready to lock in your bets and cash in on the games this weekend? Get weekly football winners from Alex White, Chris Andrews, and Vinny Malulo.
I did take the dog 3.5.
I'm going to stay with the Colts here. That's definitely going to be one of my plays.
If the Bears have turned the corner, they have to take care of business in this game.
Yes.
Tune in for behind-the-book perspectives you won't find anywhere else.
Well, if you're looking to bet the under, you're going to get a better number.
The wise guys are certainly not going to play the favorites.
I know if it hits 7, don't blink. Maybe that's what bettors are waiting for.
Every NFL matchup, every college game that matters, the spreads, the stats, and the smart money plays.
Is there a way to bet against both teams?
Get your winning edge with Football Frenzy, streaming on YouTube every Friday at noon Pacific.
Happy Monday, everybody. I hope you had a great weekend. Hope you cashed some tickets. Thanks for stopping in. This is Sports by the Book. We shoot live from the South Point Hotel and Casino 7 days a week. You can find a show. Of course, we have gone racing. We have Race Day Las Vegas with Ralph Sirocco, and then Sports by the Book. So we appreciate you being here. I'm Alex White. I'll be with you for the next hour. Sportsbook director Chris Andrews will join me in about 20 minutes to talk about the weekend that was and what it means for the playoff picture, both in the NFL and the 12-team playoffs for college football. So looking forward to that. That'll be in about 20 minutes. He had some good winners last night, including the Broncos catching points, who won outright. And he also liked plus 3.5 with the Seahawks, who kept that game very competitive against the Rams. Excited to talk about that with him and who he thinks is the top dogs in the AFC and the NFC. Before we get to that, we do have a Monday night football game. The Cowboys at the Raiders. Should be a good one tonight. Difference of opinions for him and I in this one. So we'll get his opinion and what the book needs tonight. shortly as well. We'll also go through some hockey games. There's a couple of games on the hardwood. If you have any questions or you have some games you're interested in that we aren't necessarily going to break down, please put them in the chat. We also have a poll going right now that is live. It is Monday night under neon lights. What's your plus money scoring prop in tonight's matchup? So please feel free to jump in. Let us know what you like in that one. Pretty, that first one, plus 135. Total touchdowns by Cowboys over 3.5. That is a lot right there. I would probably skip that one because that's a lot of touchdowns to expect from a Raiders defense that I think is better than what their numbers have shown this far. Of course, jumping into that game a little bit, looking at these two records, 3 wins on the year for the Cowboys, 3-5-1. The Raiders, 2 wins, 2-7 on the year, started the year out hot, going to New England and winning that one 20-13. Thought it was going to be a promising year for the Raiders in a very tough AFC West division, but it's been a rocky road since then. Of course, Brock Bowers has been injured, and since coming back, they've looked a whole lot better. Put up 29 against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Did find a way to lose that one in overtime, but still, I like what I've seen from their offense since getting Brock Bowers back. So that leads me into liking the points a little bit. Here's Chris Andrews' offensive and defensive efficiency numbers up to this point. Oh, and sorry, there's their records. We will show his defensive and offensive efficiency numbers up to this point as well. But as I mentioned, difference of opinions in this one. He is leaning to the favorite. Cowboys, 3rd right now in offensive numbers, in scoring, in yards per play, compared to the Raiders, who are 31st in points per game and 30th in yards per game. There they are right there, looking at the numbers up close. Comparing those two, it's no secret that the Cowboys defense has definitely been struggling. They are 31st in points per game. They are 29th in total yards or opponent yards per play. So it has been a struggle there for them. Raiders, according to Chris Andrews, 31st in offense efficiency, tied for 16th defensively. Taking a look at the Cowboys, 4th in offense efficiency and 30th in defense efficiency. So maybe you do like that over 3.5 there for the Cowboys, knowing that their offense has been elite. But as of late, they have slowed down a little bit here, just 17 against the Arizona Cardinals. Of course, that is the last time we saw them. So a little bit of extra rest here for Dallas coming into this one. A lot of good props here at the South Point, though. If you want to take a look at some of the touchdown props, total touchdowns in the game. Also, passing yards for Dak Prescott, passing yards for Geno Smith. We know it's been a struggle for Geno for interceptions. You can also bet on that over or to throw an interception minus 170 here at the South Point. If you think he's going to have a nice, clean game and take care of the football, you can get plus 150 on the no. So I think he might be able to take advantage of this Dallas defense. I really do. I like the 3.5. That is the way I'm leaning. Another thing I just wanted to point out, Circa Invitational Contest, Matt Humans Invitational Contest, 25 professional handicappers all invited into this contest. This stuck out to me because 7 people use this game, and usually it's pretty spread out for the weekend. You can pick college or NFL. This is my 2nd year in this contest as well. I have no picks left, but 6 handicappers are going with the Cowboys today. So they agree with Chris Andrews. They did take the Cowboys -3 in the contest. 1 on the other side, taking the points here with the Raiders. A couple other games that had that many picks on one game. Minnesota Vikings. 6 handicappers picked the Vikings -2.5. We know what happened in that one. The Bears found a way to win that one. There was 1 handicapper on the other side. And then there was 1 college that was split like that. I was pretty fortunate to be on the correct side. 5 handicappers liked the points with TCU this weekend. And I ended up laying the 4 with BYU and was on the other side. So far, when there's a lot of handicappers on one side, it's 2-0 to the other side. So we'll see if the Cowboys can get it done today. I am very interested to hear from Chris Andrews because last game of the weekend, for football. I got to imagine a lot of things going to this game. We'll find out what the books need here shortly. Let's go ahead and switch it over. We're going to go through some hockey games here because, again, in about 10, 15 minutes, Chris will join us and we will talk about the results because I'll go through some of the trends right now for the weekend. But college football on Saturday alone, favorites covered in 27 of 50 games, so 27 and 23 ATS in college football. NFL favorites were 10-4 straight up, but just 5-10 against the spread. So it was another good weekend for underdog bettors in the National Football League. So we'll get his takes shortly with all of that. All right, let's go to some hockey. We've got about 6 games on the board tonight. Looking through all of these, breaking them down and what we see. I'll also give you some trends, some streaks, some overs that have been cashing. I know our good friend JR has been handicapping that as well, so I'm sure he'll jump in and let us know what he likes in this one. First one, Carolina Hurricanes and the Boston Bruins. 2 good goalies going here today. Frederik Andersen for the Canes, of course, and then we have Jeremy Swayman on the other side. I do agree with this number. I do think Carolina is one of the best teams in the league, and they should be a pretty good size favorite here against the Boston Bruins. Everyone was expecting another down year for them. Made a lot of trades at the end of last year. Kind of a rebuild there in Boston. But they've been playing really good, and at home they've won 6 in a row. I think that makes this a tough spot for the Canes coming into this one, and I also like the way Jeremy Swayman is playing. I think he is playing even better than Frederik Andersen right now on the year. Goals against 2.99 and a 902 save percentage. On the other side, with Andersen, 3.09 goals against average and an 886 save percentage. So that is a lean, if not a bet for me, taking a good plus price there with the Boston Bruins, who I think could be very competitive in this one. Again, they've won 6 in a row at home, so really protecting home ice there. Now, the Canes have won 2 road games in a row coming into this one. Did lose one at home, though, so they'll want to get back on the winning side, I'm sure, and they are a very good team, but I just think there's some value there, taking that plus 165 with the Bruins. Next on the board is the Oilers at Buffalo. Sabres are kind of the opposite of Boston. They've lost 2 in a row at home. They are coming into this one on a 1-game winning streak, as well as Edmonton. But I like the over. I mean, looking at these 2 teams, we have 4 straight overs for Buffalo, 2 straight overs for Edmonton. Kind of slow starters, but then always find a way to be in the game. The total is 6.5, so it's a high number there, but it's a definite lean looking at these 2 teams and how they want to play. Right now, the Sabres, median goals for is 3. Goals against is 3. I think they can help get some offense here in this one going up against Stuart Skinner. His goals against average, 2.77, 881 save percentage. And then Ellis on the other side, a backup goalie for Buffalo that we know those Edmonton Oilers may be able to take advantage of here. Connor McDavid and company. 335 goals against average and an 895 save percentage. So lean to the over on that one, and that might be a little trend because this next one, we're going to Vancouver and Florida. I like this over as well. The Canucks, JR, I'm sure he'll jump in here. 9 straight overs for Vancouver coming into this game. We're getting pretty fortunate getting a 6 in this one. I made it a lot higher. So I like the over here. Minus 125, you do have to pay a price to bet that over. Maybe you can shop around and find the best number here. But a backup goalie for Vancouver came over from Vegas. So looking at his numbers, they are from when he was here with Vegas. But Bobrovsky on the other side, 2.63 goals against and an 893 save percentage. I think we're going to get some goals. I think we're going to keep that streak alive here in this one. And I will pull up Patera's numbers as well. So a 357 goals against average and a 902 save percentage. So that is how the Canucks are playing this year, which we are not used to. We're used to them being all unders, but that might be why we're on a nice streak here, because we are getting lower total set opposed to those 6.5s like a Buffalo or an Edmonton game. 3 more games we're going to get to quickly. We got the Kings and the Capitals. Big fan of the Capitals, like to bet them at home, but no Logan Thompson. Charlie Lindgren is confirmed backup goalie for them. You got to add that into the number, and I think you're getting a good price here on a Los Angeles Kings team that is playing very good. They've won 4 in a row. They've won 6 straight road games. Now they're going to Washington, and I think they're going to be very competitive in this one. This is their 3rd game in 4 nights. They're 4th in 6, so can work against you or for you, right? They've got good rhythm now. They're probably a team that doesn't want to really take a break, because 6 straight road games they have won coming into this one, and now they get to face a backup goalie in Charlie Lindgren. Darcy Kemper has been pretty good this year for the Kings. 2.44 goals against average and a 903 save percentage. So I like the Kings in this one. We know that the Capitals been playing lower scoring games. That's why we've got a 5.5 here. Both teams really have. I'd lean to that under as well, but maybe just the Capitals team total under, because I do like the Kings side. And with Lindgren in the net, I think we can see some goals there from the Kings. Canadians going on the road to take on the Blue Jackets. This game is in Columbus. 2 backup goalies going against each other in this one. 4 straight overs on the road, that is, for the Canadians. So looking at their last 4 road games, all 4 of them went over the total. It's another high one at 6.5. Might be a little bit of a lean, but nothing definite for me in this one. Blue Jackets minus 120. I think that number is correct with both backup goalies going. No streaks for them, besides the Canadians have lost 3 in a row now after their hot start. So if you want to go against that, we would like at least 3 for a streak. So maybe a little bit of a lean to the Blue Jackets in that one, but not my favorite bet on the board. I definitely like the other ones just a little bit more. Last but not least, let's go to Anaheim here. Utah and the Ducks going head to head. We got 2 of our starting goalies going. Karel Vemeka, we've talked about him a lot and how we like to back him this year. 284 goals against average and an 883 save percentage. So a solid year for him. Looking on the other side, though, Dostal, he's got a 286 goals against average and a 903 save percentage. So both of them playing very good. Both teams are playing good in the Western Conference here. Home streak. Anaheim's been taking care of business at home. They won 4 in a row. Coming off a road trip, though, where they did lose 3 in a row coming into this one. So a little bit of a contradicting streaks there, but I'm sure that the Ducks will be happy to be back at home. Minus 105 is the number there for the Anaheim Ducks. If you like Utah, minus 115. High total at 6.5. I do agree with that. I lean a little bit to the under. I made it a little bit lower, but nothing for me in that one. Looking at the median numbers, Anaheim, told you, very good at home. Goals for. Their median number is 4, and goals against is 2.5. So they like to outscore their opponents at home. Utah, 4th game in 6 nights. So with all that being said, maybe a little bit of a lean to Anaheim being back at home. Just to quickly go through those again and kind of recap. I like Boston at home, getting a good plus price against the Canes, and I know it is scary betting against the Canes, but you're getting plus 165, maybe splitting that up, putting a little bit on that puck line, getting plus 1.5. A lean to the over in that second game with the Oilers and the Sabres. It's a high number, 6.5. I do like this one. Vancouver, Florida, over 6. As I mentioned, different style of play from the Canucks that we're used to. Not as good of goalie play for them. So we're seeing a lot of over games for them. I'm going to follow that streak and go over the 6. I like the Kings. Shop around here at the South Point. It is minus 105, so we're starting to see some money come in on Los Angeles. They're on the road at Washington, but I found even money So getting a plus price there with the Kings going up against a backup goalie in Charlie Lindgren and the Capitals. A little bit of a lean to the over in the last one with the Canadians and the Blue Jackets. But that's it for me. Utah-Anaheim should be a very good game to watch tonight. A little bit of a lean to the Ducks being at home as they are playing a lot better at home. All right, that is my hockey plays for today. Please make sure, jump in with the poll. Curious on what you guys like for any plus money in scoring props here in our Monday night game between the Cowboys and the Raiders. And jump in if you would like to know any basketball picks. No Ryan McCormick today. He is out of town, but he will be back shortly. I saw somebody ask about that. So let's take a quick break. When we get back, Chris Andrews joins me at the desk. We're going to break down Week 12 in college football and also look at what we saw yesterday in Week 11 for the NFL. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you've still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
Are you ready to lock in your bets and cash in on the games this weekend? Get weekly football winners from Alex White, Chris Andrews, and Vinny Malulo.
I did take the dog 3.5.
I'm going to stay with the Colts, Eric. That's definitely going to be one of my plays.
If the Bears have turned the corner, they have to take care of business in this game.
Yes.
Tune in for behind-the-book perspectives you won't find anywhere else.
Well, if you're looking to bet the under, you're going to get a better number.
The wise guys are certainly not going to play the favorites.
I know if it hits 7, don't blink. Maybe that's what bettors are waiting for.
Every NFL matchup, every college game that matters, the spreads, the stats, and the smart money plays.
Is there a way to bet against both teams?
Get your winning edge with Football Frenzy, streaming on YouTube every Friday at noon Pacific.
Welcome back, everybody. Sports by the Book, live from the South Point Hotel and Casino. I'm Alex White. Happy to be with you. Please jump in and let us know what you think for the poll. We also have a ticker trivia question. So if you know the answer, go ahead and throw it in the chat. We'll give you a shout out, whoever gets the correct answer, and we'll tell you the correct answer by the end of the show. Now, welcoming in Sportsbook Director here at the South Point, Chris Andrews joins me on the desk. How long have you been Sportsbook Director here at the South Point now?
Here?
Yeah.
Well, since 2016, so I'll be in my 10th year come February.
Very good. And a little bit different than some other shops around.
Yeah, I've worked at a
originate your own numbers. You like to take a bet to move the number, don't just follow the market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got a couple games, and you find, I mean, I'm not going to go crazy, but half-point differences here and there. Not so much that I'm trying to pick winners. I'm trying to pick where I think the number's going to go, you know, and it's one of those things where we do a lot of business on Monday, do a lot on Tuesday lately. They move a lot of games on Tuesday, but the big action comes in Friday and Saturday.
Okay.
That's where and you know, when the wise guys, and usually guys betting us limits, certainly early in the week, that's the sharp guys, kind of set you up for the right number. So you could be booking the right number. And, you know, it's worked out okay for us.
That is a funny concept that a lot of people get confused often when they see a movement. they're like, what do the books know? What are they doing? But a lot of times it's from your sharp bettors that you're taking money and then you're moving it, following that.
Yeah, and I mean, we got guys that are pretty sharp betting us, and like I said, most of the business comes in. You walk up there Saturday and Sunday, you can't get a seat. That's where most of the business comes, and money wise. And we try to have the right number by then. We try to get it as early as we can, but sometimes it takes a couple of days to get there.
Well, you had a great weekend. College football. Hopefully people watched our Football Frenzy on Friday. Gave out some winners. 6-1 in the Westgate contest for you. Was the one Duke?
Yeah.
And we talked about that.
Never had a prayer. So those are easy to lose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No sweat on those. But the other ones, 6-1. And I think I joked with you later on. Might be a little too late. But I'm going to make a run. I'm not. You said, well, you need a miracle. I said, I need 2 miracles. So we got 2 weeks left. So, but I'll do my best. And it's, I give them out to guys who want to follow me. And hopefully I think I've given out a lot of winners this year, And then the pros, I gave out 2 games for yesterday. They both won. And I'm on Dallas tonight. But if you're bet Dallas, make sure you get 3. You don't want to mess with that half point.
Well, it is tough, too. And with the contest, of course, some of those numbers are stale numbers that you just have. So you just do your best. But I think both of us are right there at close to tied for 30th, but it's not that far from that
only
top
a couple
10.
Games.
Right. So 2 more weeks. We'll see what we can do for that. But great week overall. And let's start with those NFL games quickly because you liked the Broncos. They ended up winning outright.
Yeah.
And you did talk about it. It was the first game of the year, Chiefs against the Chargers. You said, Super Bowl hangover. I think it's going to be a down year. And it kind of looked like, nope, the Chiefs are back.
Yeah.
But then, that Broncos defense is so good. They are definitely the top of the AFC West. Record-wise. But I think right now, just playing really good football.
Well, when you've been around as long as I have, and not that you haven't been around, you're a lot younger than me, but you learn from your dad, you learn from your grandfather. Things are constantly evolving in this business, not just in football, but pretty much in every sport.
Yes.
Things are constantly evolving. Right now, I really think defense holds the key. I think if you got a great defensive team, that's going to propel you a little further in the playoffs. Now, we saw it in the Eagles last night. I'll tell you, we saw it with Seattle yesterday. Even though, what Darnold have, 4 interceptions or 5? 4 or 5.
Yeah, let me double check.
But that defense is so good. That defense is going to keep you in there. Now, of course, we get in the playoffs. I think the Ram defense is awful good too.
Yeah.
And maybe you have a little bit more trust in Matthew Stafford than you do in Sam Darnold. I don't blame you. But that defense is going to keep you in a lot of games. And like I said, we saw it last night with Philadelphia. That defense was awesome. But Detroit's defense was pretty damn good, too.
They were.
And they were missing, 4 defensive backs and still held this team to 16 points. And they stopped the tush-push better than anybody I'd seen all year. So, Detroit's defense, I think, is going to keep them in. Their offense gets all the accolades. But I was watching some of the shows this morning that Detroit offensive line has some problems right now. You could see, and they played a great defense, of course, but, they were in Goff's face.
Yes, they were.
The whole time. And he did not have a good game. But I think, not making excuses for him, but guys were in his face all day. That offensive line, I think, let him down. And, we've been talking about offensive lines quite a bit.
Yes.
But I think that's going to be something that might hurt Detroit to make a big play. Right now, they're out of the playoffs.
Are they really?
They are out of the playoffs. By the way, so is Kansas City.
Yeah.
Kansas City is out of the playoffs. So I think, Kansas City, I just thought was going to have a down year. They got 5 losses already. That's a down year for Kansas City, even if they run the table from here. And it's funny, let's say they do get into the playoffs, and they go into New England, who I think is going to be the 1 seed.
Yeah.
They'll be favored over New England, which we could very easily see.
Well, right now, Broncos and Patriots are both 9-2, so those two kind of fighting for that 1 seed right now, and we just saw the Broncos play them very well. And like you said, defense. And a lot of people thought, the bye week, and we know Andy Reid's really good off a bye, but that is a stingy good defense. How'd you feel about your Steelers? That was a good win. A lot of people like the points there, thought that the Bengals could keep it close, but good win for them.
Yeah, and it looks like Mason Rudolph's going to be the quarterback this week.
Yeah.
And he did look pretty good yesterday. And he's always been, I thought, like a pretty good backup. And going into this year, I had said, before they signed Rodgers, I said, I'd be okay with Mason Rudolph being their quarterback and then maybe try to draft, the future quarterback, next year. But they signed Rodgers, and Rodgers has played well, there's no doubt. But, again, you talk about offensive lines. I think that's a big key to the Steelers. And I have to go through the boxes a little more closely. But it looked pretty good. Their offensive line, I thought, played well.
All right, and then anything else that jumped out? You already brought up the Rams and the Seahawks, both really good. But looking at the NFC picture as of right now, kind of like you were saying, the Eagles right there at the top with the Rams. The Bears are 7-3.
Unbelievable.
Is that a team that you believe in, or you still think a little bit lucky, might regress a little bit?
Ryan's not here, right? I don't believe in the Bears.
No.
They've been awful lucky winning some of these games. I mean, last night or yesterday afternoon was just that was awfully lucky. So I don't believe much in the Bears. But, I mean, they're good. They're having a good season. Give credit. How many in a row have they won now? I mean,
oh, my gosh.
They're actually on a pretty good roll. And, kudos to them. And I'm glad Ryan's enjoying this run by the Bears. Good for them. But, no, the answer is no. I don't have any faith in them going forward.
So won 7 of their last 8. They did run into the Ravens. That was their only loss when the Ravens really needed it. What about Carolina? Or is that we're just staying away from the Falcons right now, right? But, of course, we did have to see Kirk Cousins in that game, too.
Yeah. Looks like it'll be Cousins this week, too.
Okay.
Atlanta, I don't know. And, again, you look at my numbers and all that, they should be better than they are.
Yeah.
And I think that goes to coaching. I've never been a big Raheem Morris fan. And, I just think there's things missing at times with that team. We talked about the previous Atlanta-Carolina game where Carolina totally boat raced them, And yesterday was actually a really good game. Good game to watch. I don't think it was great football. I mean, it was a great game for your betting that was hanging on tenter hooks there. So, but I don't have much faith in Atlanta, certainly. But Carolina right now is in the playoff hunt.
Yes.
I don't have much faith in them either. But I think when you look back on this year, if you're a Carolina fan, you'd have to say it was pretty successful.
I would have to agree with that, definitely. Just a half game back from Tampa Bay now, so we'll see if Tampa Bay can hold on to that one.
Well,
the
Tampa
Bills,
Bay, by the way, their defense, I think, is falling apart.
Yeah.
And I don't know the whole injury situation, but I thought their defense, and Josh Allen played out of his mind last night. But I think the defense, too, for Tampa Bay is really kind of falling apart.
They're fortunate that they are in the division that they're in.
Yeah.
Easier path to make it into the playoffs. But, yeah, I have to agree with that. So I don't know if I really trust them long term. I think we saw on display the 4 teams with the Eagles and the Lions and the Rams and the Seahawks that are the best of the NFC.
Yeah, and that'd be a great Final Four.
Yes, it would. It really would. You have a lucky for one better, right?
For one better. Yeah,
okay.
I wasn't so lucky. He was. He bet a $50 15-team big teaser. So that's kind of.
Is that the reverse teaser?
No, it's not the reverse teaser. I know you guys played some of those. I have a feeling you didn't do so good on those. A lot of teasers hit this week, but this guy in particular bet a $50 15-teamer, paid $15,000.
Wow.
300 to 1.
Okay.
He's got to be pretty happy. I'm looking. Here's his teams that he's had.
Yeah.
Some weren't even close. Clemson, plus 8.5. UConn minus 1.5. Virginia plus 12.5. Penn State minus 1.5.
Nice.
Utah minus 2.5. Florida plus 21.5. Wash State minus 2.5.
They covered the original number too.
Yeah. Then you go into the NFL. Commanders plus 8.5. Bills minus 0.5, Bears plus 8.5, Jaguars plus 8.5, Seahawks plus 8.5. You look at these; they look like it's easy.
I know.
Ravens minus 2.5, Browns under 45.5, and then Live capped it off last night with the Lions plus 8.5.
Very good. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looking back at it.
15,000. Yeah, we've had a good year booking teasers in the NFL, but they got us this week pretty good. So your reverse teaser didn't do so good, I'm sure.
I know that I threw in the Chargers in that one, so I know I messed that up. Jags.
Yeah.
Chargers are good for a game like that every now and then. You got to be careful with them.
Yeah,
But
you're right. Yeah, I don't know. Expected more out of them this year too.
yes, definitely. Let's go to let's go to college. And
Okay.
then before we get out of here, I do want your thoughts on tonight's game
Okay.
and how much money is actually going to that game.
Okay.
Okay. But looking at some college, Alabama dominated the box score. We both liked that side. You were smart. You kept it off of your ticket, though. But Oklahoma, desperate team. Now they're kind of in the conversation to maybe make a run here and make it into the playoffs.
They're definitely in the conversation. And maybe Mateer got healthy because I thought he played well, played clutch. So maybe that's going to be a big difference there. But I was surprised that Alabama didn't win and cover that game, But, I mean, in the end, I'm not saying they got outplayed in the box score, but they got outplayed at the end of the game when it counted.
Yes, and I think that was Kalen DeBoer's first home loss as the head coach there of the Crimson Tide. How about Georgia? Pretty dominating win, 35-10 over Texas, and now I think Texas is officially out of the playoff conversation.
Yeah, I still got them in, as a potential. But I think you and I like Georgia in that game. What I'm looking at my notes here. Do we have them 9, I believe, and the number tumbled? And
yes.
I remember my wife's family's from Texas, so she kind of roots for Texas, and she likes Texas. So we went to go see Tom Petty there, her favorite artist. So she always kind of roots for Texas. She was mad at me because I said, "Oh, I need Georgia. I don't know what to tell you." I mean, we opened the game. What did we open at 6.5 or 7?
Yeah.
Closed at I think 4.
That's what it says
just
here.
tumbled in on Texas, and I thought Georgia looked awful good. They were pretty dominant.
I did too. I'm very impressed with Gunnar Stockton and what we're getting from him in the last few weeks. So
listen, Kirby Smart's a good coach. He really is.
Great.
And listen, every team's gonna have their up and down years, but Kirby Smart is a really good coach. He's got a good roster, and they may be peaking at the right time.
I think you said it perfectly. I think that's what it is too. We saw 2 weeks in a row now with them, and we'll find out tomorrow once we have our college football selection show. But Bama, with that loss, probably falls back, and then Texas might move up to one of those top 4 seeds. I mean, not Texas, Georgia might move up to one of those top. I was already thinking ahead to Texas A&M because how about that game down 33 at halftime, and they found a way to win. So pretty remarkable.
I know you and I both like South Carolina. I didn't pull the trigger on them because I know South Carolina has just been so inconsistent. But like I said, part of inconsistency is that they've been really good at times.
Right. Yes, you did say that.
They fired Shula as the offensive coordinator. I thought he was terrible as a coach. They seem to be playing better, but it was kind of teasing you. Neither one of us could pull the trigger. They were up by 30-3 at the half or something like that, and couldn't hold on for the victory. Of course, we'd have covered, pretty easily.
Right, getting 17 if you've got a nice lead like that, but
almost impossible to lose that. But
I mean, there's crazy things floating out there because that is, I think, the first FBS comeback like that from down 27.
I know it was for A&M. It was their biggest.
Yes.
There's that Maryland game with Frank Reich, quarterback, and I think he was down about 28, something like that.
Wow.
There's one with Nevada, too, when they had I could see the guy's face was a quarterback, and he'd come off the bench, and he played some great football, but I can't think of his name. I could see his face. I can't think of his name. But I know they may have actually beaten Maryland for the biggest comeback of all time.
It might have just been in so many years, so you might be right. Maryland might still have it. It might just be the last 20
Nevada
or so.
had one too. Chris, and he had the same first name as me. Chris something. I can't remember what his last name was.
How about Nevada with their big win, 55-10?
Unbelievable.
And I like them, but they got me last week, so I didn't go back to them. But San Jose State's a good team.
I know. I still have friends in Reno, and I was texting a couple and saying, what the hell is going on? I mean, it was before I could even look.
Yeah.
We had the game on TV, and I think it was like 28-0 before I even started paying attention. But good for the Wolfpack. I don't know if that means they turned things around or not, but that was a big win for them.
Yeah, inconsistent, good and bad for them so far this year.
Yeah.
Keeping it there in the SEC really quick. Ole Miss found a way to win. That looked a little bit scary if you took the points with Florida, which we both liked too. Yeah. Ole Miss won though 34-24. So SEC's kind of rounding out. I do want to just mention Big 12. I mean, there's 3 teams that are just dominant. I think Texas Tech, of course, they're the top. 48-9. Never a sweat if you laid the points with them against Central Florida. BYU, dominant win for them, 44-13 over TCU and then Utah. And I fell into the trap taking the points of Baylor at home, but 55-28. So those 3 teams are at the top right now.
I keep rating Utah high. They had a couple bad games, but their other games have been really, really good. I don't know if it's even mathematically possible for them to sneak into the playoffs. I don't think it is. But boy, if they got in, I think that'd be a dangerous team.
I do too.
But Alex, before we move on from the SEC, I hate what they do every year the week before Thanksgiving. You got Georgia, what are they, a 45-point favorite? And there's a couple games that aren't even on the board. I don't have it, but God, where am I at here? But some of them are just ridiculous.
Well,
you got South Carolina playing Coastal Carolina. Do you have the schedule right there for the I can find it quickly, but it's disgraceful, and they do this every year. And I always say the SEC. Well, I don't know, the Big Ten's challenging, but the SEC always had the best football, but they also stacked the deck. And, all those bowl games were always, played in like perfect weather stadiums, domes and stuff like that. Well, that's not, that's not like how the Big Ten plays. If you're in the Big Ten, even if you're, one of the lesser schools, I hate to stigmatize them, but you're Purdue or Minnesota, you're going to have to play bad weather games. You have to gear your team to win those. Here's the SEC schedule for this week. Samford at A&M.
Oh my gosh, yep, that's gonna be
and then there's a couple, Charlotte at Georgia, that's 45-point favorite. Eastern Illinois at Alabama, Mercer at Auburn, Coastal Carolina at South Carolina, Western Kentucky at LSU. At least Western Kentucky's semi-legitimate, but they do this every year, and I think I don't know, bothers me.
It is tough though because they have a few non-con before the season starts. They've got at least a cupcake game or 2 in there, or tomato can, whatever
Everybody
we're calling
does.
it.
Yeah, okay.
But they have been branching out, playing a little bit better non-con, Texas, Ohio State this year. But you don't like the spot, right? The second to last
That's the
week,
thing, the
right?
spot,
After we're used to all these conference.
It's like you got to buy after week 10.
Right.
I mean, I don't. And like I said, the thing is, they've been doing that for years and years and years. And do they have the best football? Yeah. So your SEC fans out there, yeah, you do. Maybe not this year because of the Big Ten. Yeah. But overall, for a couple of decades now, they've had the best football. But they also stack the deck.
Right. And then Georgia, they pretty much do get a bye. They have Charlotte, and then they get Georgia Tech. I don't know who Georgia Tech has this weekend, but
they have Pitt.
They were pretty fortunate this Saturday.
Yeah.
So now they've got Pitt, and then they have their big rivalry game against Georgia, and they're coming kind of a lot fresher. So a little bit, you're right. It's not really fair, but
I don't like it.
We got a couple good games. We do have Vandy and Kentucky, Florida, Tennessee. So a couple good SEC matchups we'll get to this week. But Big Ten, you mentioned it. I know you don't have your final numbers. You probably did your first version.
I got my first draft, yeah.
Oregon, very impressive and convincing win. And they still have wide receivers out. And they still covered on Friday night. Are they right there? 3? Is it Ohio State, Indiana, and Oregon? Top 3?
Yeah.
So that is what's funny. It's the Big Ten, the very top with those 3, and then a lot of SEC.
Yeah, SEC is throwing kind of numbers at you. You know what I mean? And they're all good. I mean, even Bama, who lost, I mean, they could certainly win it. Georgia, Mississippi, I think is a little bit of an outsider, but they could win it. I think that they have that potential. Yeah.
Any more movement on your prop? where we're picking the
I haven't had a
conference.
chance to
Okay.
figure it out yet. I did put up the futures for the colleges, but I haven't done that prop yet. Yeah, A&M too, by the way. I keep forgetting
Yes.
they're an SEC team. Oklahoma, an SEC team.
Yes.
It's crazy.
What'd you think about USC? Found a way to get that win against Iowa.
Yeah, I have a USC ticket in my pocket to win the national championship. They have to win this week, or they have no chance. I hate to tell you, I kind of like Oregon this week. Matter of fact, I even opened it a little higher. It was like 10 or 10, and I opened 10.5.
Wow.
I just, Oregon, I just think is a much better team at this point. I'll be rooting for USC, but I'm not sure they could do it.
Getting 10.5 at Oregon, the Trojans. I know it is a very meaningful, important for their playoff hopes. But Notre Dame, it's crazy. They still are fighting their way and need some help to be in
I don't
the
know if they
playoff
need help.
conversation.
I don't know if they do. I think they need to win.
Well, it's funny, though, because now Oklahoma, Alabama, we've got some SEC schools that are going to have 2 losses if they win out.
Right.
Notre Dame, 2 losses. So it'll kind of just be.
The Miami fans are screaming already, because they beat Notre Dame week 1 or 2. I think it was week 1. And I think if both teams are 10-2, Notre Dame's going to probably get the nod. I think so.
I think so, too. We'll see.
Bear Felica, he's a Miami grad. He won't be happy.
I would like to see Miami. I mean, of course, we thought they were going to be in it last year, too, and slipped up at the end. Yeah. So now with Carson Beck, let's see if we can get them in there. But 37-15, you stayed off of Pittsburgh. There was 3 big dogs I was on and only 1 covered, and it was the one you liked, and it was Northwestern.
Yeah.
Against Michigan, and they had a chance
they should have won that
to
game.
win that game. Yes.
Jeez, they should have won that. Even when I was going through my numbers, and I'm looking, I said, wait, did Michigan? They won that game?
Right.
God dang it, I forgot all about it.
Once you kind of knew you're good covering the number,
right.
But yeah, Michigan found a way. Who do they have this week? Before they have Ohio State up next before Thanksgiving.
I remember looking at their numbers, but I can't, just everything's a blur at this point.
Yes, there's a lot.
Yeah, I can't remember who they played.
Well, let's move to tonight's game.
Okay.
Because I am very intrigued. Unless there's any more teams that you do want to talk about with college football, but we'll have more throughout the week.
No, I think we mentioned, I think, Texas Tech, again, is this team just keeps getting better and better and better. They brought in a lot of new parts. We were worried about quarterback. Didn't know that much about the coach, really. But boy, they've really come together. And like I said, I got a couple of Texas Tech guys who follow me on Twitter. Kind of alerted me early on. This team's going to be really good. And they're I'll tell you what. I don't put them quite up to Ohio State yet, and I don't put them even up to Indiana. But other than that, they're as good as anybody.
I agree. I mean, really, top 5 in scoring, yards per play, and the other side opponent. They're just dominating. So right now, Texas Tech 7-1 in conference play. BYU 6-1 with a loss to Tech, and Utah 5-2.
Who beat Texas Tech?
Arizona State.
Ah, okay.
Yes, 26-22.
By the way, BYU has a tough game this week at Cincinnati.
Yes.
That's going to be a tough game.
Especially Cincinnati coming off a loss.
Yeah. We opened BYU 2 in that game.
Yes.
I made it to 1. So I think that Cincinnati's going to be tough.
Yes. I agree. And now it's getting interesting to see who we'll get to face, because I think Texas Tech is pretty much in for the Big 12 title game. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see if it is going to be a rematch between BYU, Utah. If BYU loses this one to Cincinnati, Utah might find their way in.
Utah could sneak in there.
Yeah.
They could sneak in.
And then that would be a very good game between those two. I just want to bring up the fact that Navy won.
Yeah.
Because now that makes it a whole lot more interesting, right? Navy now 6-1 in the American. South Florida 4-2. We thought South Florida was going to be our group of 5.
Yeah.
But it's
where's North Texas?
North Texas is 5-1. I think they might have the easiest shot. They go to Rice, and then they have Temple. Yeah, so I think they could get 2 more wins.
They could put up some points, that's for sure. Their totals every week are in the 60s. They don't stop anybody, but they can put up some points.
And they faced UAB this week. Thought that might be a lot of points on the road, but really never in doubt for them. So North Texas is the favorite right now to be the Group of 5 representative.
I can see why.
But I mean, Navy, who knows? Maybe they could be. And you
They
know,
had them
you
10
do like
point
to
home
say,
dogs this last week,
yes.
And so that's pretty wild. What shows you that's let me editorialize for a second. The bookmaker should make do the ratings. No, we shouldn't. No, we shouldn't. You guys do your thing. We'll do our thing. We shouldn't influence. We had Navy a 10-point home dog. And I think we like the favorite. At least I kind of like the favorite because Horvath, who wound up playing, and I don't think he finished, but he did play.
You're right.
Yeah, so you shouldn't. No, bookies shouldn't. You guys do your thing, and we'll make the numbers accordingly. Just go ahead.
Yes. I mean, I'm with you though, and you always say it. You root for those service academies, and it wouldn't be terrible to see Navy. So hopefully we get a North Texas Navy American Championship game, and then one of those two gets to go. But Virginia, we did talk about it with Duke. Kind of found their way back in the conversation. Them and Georgia Tech, both 6-1 in the ACC, but they got to keep winning so they don't get knocked out completely. Yeah,
but ACC, they'll be lucky to get a seat at the table.
Yes.
They'll get one, I think. But
yeah, I do too.
Just because of politics and whatever. But whoever, it could be Miami, who I just think I still have them rated pretty high power rating wise. But I mean, they're no lock, and. Again, Bear will be very upset, but, that's the way it goes.
Shout out to Bear, who's doing very good in these contests that we've talked about, too, and doing good in that circumvention on the Westgate.
Yeah.
So we'll have to check in with him, and maybe after the contest is done, we'll have him on as a guest with us to kind of talk through some college football, looking ahead to the playoffs. But NFL tonight, do you have a lot going to this game with the Cowboys and the Raiders?
We don't have a lot going, but the way we do things here, we don't juice numbers. So when we're at 3 flat, we're pretty much the only 3 flat in the world. When we go to 3.5, we're pretty much the only 3.5 in the world. And it was that way, with 2.5, 3 last night with the Detroit-Philadelphia game. Our handle was this big. Well, that's 2 great teams, though, too. I don't know if our handle tonight will be this big, but it is Dallas. It is the Raiders.
Right.
I don't know if it'll be this big, but it'll probably be at least this big. And so far, it's been huge. So right now, I have no idea who I'm going to need in this game. I do know what I don't need. I don't need a Cowboy 3-point victory. And I think when I gave out my 3 games on Friday, I gave two winners in already, but I gave the Cowboys -3. And I still think that's the right side. But, there's a lot of opposition. It is certainly at 3.5.
Well, yeah, and then I agree with you. Like the Broncos and the Seahawks. I think we both like the Niners too, but did have the Chargers, which was a loser.
You like the Raiders tonight, I think.
I do like the Raiders a little bit, though.
We got the best. Yeah, well, wait till we go 3.5 because it's been back and forth. I don't even know what we're at right now.
It looks like 3.5, but yeah.
Is that where we're at?
That's where you're at, and wow, I mean, you're right. I don't think there are any more 3s out there. Maybe 1.
Yeah, we'll stick around.
1 solo 3, so we'll see. But you're right. I mean, people are going to want to bet it just because they're going to the game if they're here in Vegas.
And listen, Dallas might be down this year. They still have a big following.
Yes.
And the Raiders, of course, are the Raiders here in town.
High total, 50. Of course, we've seen this Dallas defense, but that's a high total.
I'm not sure the Raiders can exploit that defense. That's my handicap on the game. I know their defense is horrible. One of the bottom 3 or 4. But I just don't know the Raiders have the guns to exploit that.
If they are going to, they need to tonight. They got to get it together.
Well, Brock Bowers is back.
Yeah.
And there's some really good tight ends in this league right now, but Brock Bowers is right there among the best of them all.
And Trey McBride, again, we talked about him.
Yeah. Kelsey still had a good game yesterday.
Yes, he did, even in their loss. So, yeah, I agree. Some really good tight ends right now.
Yeah.
I think that's it for us for today for the recap.
Okay.
If you want to stop in the next few days, Matt Neverett is filling in for Ryan while he's out of town. So we'll figure it out and have
and we have our lunch date tomorrow.
That's right. We'll see you tomorrow after your meeting. But let's take a quick break. So when we get back, I can check in with the poll. We also had a trivia question, see if we had anybody answer correct, and then I'll put a few picks that I like on the whiteboard. Chris, thank you.
Okay.
As always, have a great week.
My pleasure.
We'll see you on Friday. Don't forget, Football Frenzy Friday at noon. Last week was a really good one. We split it up in two. Seemed like people liked it. So that's good. Good stuff there. We'll be right back. Whiteboard and poll results coming soon. Don't go anywhere.
Heading to Las Vegas to catch the action at Allegiant Stadium? Skip the traffic in the sky-high room rates of the Strip. Book your stay at the South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa. The South Point is located just 7 miles away from the stadium, and it's a quick trip up the freeway, making it an affordable rideshare or taxi ride. And don't worry about getting here when you land in Vegas. We offer a convenient airport shuttle to get your getaway off to a stress-free start. Shuttles are also available on Raider game days for a small fee. So whether you're rooting for your team or seeing your favorite band in concert at Allegiant Stadium, South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa is your ticket to all the excitement.
Here we go. Welcome back in, everybody. Sports by the Book, live from the South Point Hotel and Casino. As I just mentioned, the next 3 days, Matt and Everett will be joining me here at the desk. So please make sure and tune in 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. I know a lot of people were asking for more Matt, so you get it this week. So make sure and join us. Let's go over the trivia question. Kind of reminds me of old times. A battle between Nick and JR. Both of them did have the correct answer. I think Nick actually got him, though, answered it first here. But the question was, the Chicago Blackhawks played their first NHL game as a franchise 99 years ago today on November 17, 1926, against the then Toronto St. Pats. Which two original 6 NHL franchises also began play in the 1926-27 season with the Blackhawks? The correct answer was the New York Rangers and the Detroit Red Wings. Originally, the Detroit Cougars made their NHL debut as franchises in 1926-27 season. So very good. Love those questions. I'm going to be honest. I know the original 6. I did not know that they were originally the Detroit Cougars. So learned something new today from the trivia, as we always do. But again, good job to Nick and JR. Both got the right answer. I love the chat. A lot of people in there, and JR did confirm with the Canucks reaching 9 consecutive overs. He's tracking it as well, and then a couple of them coming to an end over the weekend. And then he also had the whole SEC schedule. Should have just checked the chat. Appreciate you guys. Dean Hilt in there. Love to see it. And then all of our Bronco fans, let us know, because I know we got a lot of Denver fans in there. We were all happy if you were betting that side and if you are a fan, of course. Let's go to the poll here before we get to my trivia. I'm just going to give out, I got an anytime touchdown that I'm going to play tonight, and then I'll just put 2 of my hockey plays on here. If you missed them, go back to the beginning of the show, because I had a lean or a like on almost all 6, but I'm going to put 2 out of the 6 here. Monday night, under neon lights here in Vegas, plus money scoring prop in tonight's Cowboys and Raiders matchup. Your options: total touchdowns by the Cowboys over 3.5 at plus 135. Total touchdowns by the Raiders under 2.5 plus 105. Raiders to score first plus 105. Total combined touchdowns over 6 is plus 110. The chat is going with the Raiders to score first, 36%. I like that as well, especially because they are at home, and I think that they can have a first drive dialed up that could find some success in the end zone. Thanks to Attila, JR, Tim, Dean, Nick, and Vicarious Vegas for chatting along with us today. We appreciate all of you. Again, I'm going to throw 2 of my picks on here. I am going with the Canucks, keeping that over streak going. So over 6 is making the board. And then I can't believe I'm doing it. I'm betting against the Washington Capitals. Taking a shot with a streak here, too. The numbers match, though, so it's not just streaks. It's also numbers. So whiteboard time. Andrew, sorry, I'm just going along here. But we're going with the Kings. Even money on the road against the Capitals. We're going with the over in the Canucks and the Panthers game. Over 6 there. And then I'm going to put a little bit on Brock Bowers. Anytime touchdown, I just think this offense runs so much better when he is on the field, and he is Geno Smith's favorite target. So those are my plays for today. I'll have more tomorrow. We've got college football back again, and then we'll also go to the hardwood because we have some college basketball games. So we'll hit that all week long with Matt as well. Thank you for joining, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow, 10 a.m., and through the rest of the week until Friday, which Friday we go to noon for Football Frenzy. So I'm Alex White for the crew. Thank you, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow. Please share the show with your friends. Also, hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. It really helps us out. So thank you so much. We'll see you again tomorrow here on Sports by the Book.